Core looking to summon a greater demon of sheep. This is what we need. We had so much fun with it before. It's almost a repeat. We're only missing one member from the retinue of 4. It is Serral and ZhugeLiang versus Core. But this time, we've got Elite 500. He's got Elite in the name. So he must win this game, right? Let's find out as we hop into this 2 versus 2. Now, straight away, I will address the elephant in the room. Is this Serral? Yes, it is. Most definitely. Serral and ZhugeLiang have been hard going at it on the 2v2s. Serral apparently, in fact, even after he dominated in the recent StarCraft tournament, in his spare time, he was grinding AoE 4. The guy loves this game. He just doesn't love to stay at 1v1s, it seems. He prefers the team game. And I hope that the devs listen to that and they start balancing the team game. Because I think there's actually such an amazing game hidden in Age of Empires 4 in team play. Lidicor kind of showed us a little bit of this with his 3v3 tournament. But even then, you could see how like the game wasn't well refined. Landmark snipe victories is an issue. The sizing of the maps can be a very big issue. But if we do refine that, if we fix the way that those generations work, maybe bringing players' spawns closer together, maybe kind of changing the way that certain generations happen around relics, etc., we could have a very exciting map. And I think actually things like the content editor will help a lot with this in the coming months. But you know what? For now, we have to have our normie pre-patch choice here, but it is going to be between Serral and ZhugeLiang, who are 2 established StarCraft players. Serral, of course, most people will be familiar with this lad. He is one of the reigning champs, the GOAT right now. Dominated the recent StarCraft tournament, the big boy one at IEM. And ZhugeLiang, he's been around for years. He's been hard on the grind. He might not have the money that Serral does, but these 2 play together on a regular basis. On the other side, we've got our own tried and true meme lord. We love him. We love to flame him. But at the end of the day, he is our QD. He is, of course, Core playing as the Mongols almost every single game ever. And his teammate is going to be the Elite 500, who apparently is a League of Legends player. He's a Challenger level player, apparently. I mean, I can't speak too deep out League of Legends. I'm a Dota boy, so maybe I'm already rooting for the StarCraft lads. But I'm going to try to remain unbiased here because I'm not a biased caster, folks. Well, I'm excited to see what this is going to bring because I haven't seen Elite 500 yet. This person's new to me. We, of course, did get to see ZhugeLiang, Serral, and Core in a 2v2 the other day. This is almost a rematch. The only person missing is Salami. Naughty boy for not turning up to this bout. Because in this bout, Serral is going to be playing as the Deli. I wonder if he's taken any lessons from that game against Salami, or if he's got his own envisionment. Because when we watched Salami play as the Deli in a 2v2, his prioritization was getting into keeps and then building them as TCs, right? Because remember, the Deli have a unique tech that allows them to turn their keeps into town centers as well. They behave all the same way. They're able to produce villages, whatever else, textiles, all the kit and caboodle. And the cool thing about that play is because he built the compound of the defenders, it actually made keeps cost less than TCs. Because remember, compound defender gives a 25% discount on all stone prices on structures. So while the town center ended up costing 400 wood and 225 stone, a keep only costs 600 stone. So it was more cost efficient to build keeps, not only as a defense, but also as an eco-scaling situation. And we'll have to see if that comes to play. We'll have to see if it goes late enough. There is a lot of late game potential here, right? Like, we've got a nice balance. We've got the potential aggression of French on one side and maybe the Mongols on the other. But then we've also got the late game boomers of China and the Delhi. I think the warped part about this actually is the more you think about it, like, you look at this, and traditionally we always looked and said Mongols, they're your aggressor, Chinese, you're your boomers. I think it can kind of be seen the other way around. I think Chinese feel a little bit better in feudal now, especially in 2v2 maps, where it's too much of a distance for a Mongol player to go an outpost rush. Outside of an outpost rush, I don't like the Mongols for hyper early game aggression anymore. They are very much a Castle Age and beyond type civ. That's where their true potential gets unlocked when they get into the step readout and they start strip mining the map on these gold veins. Some people are trying to question the Delhi thought of like late game booming, but considering the TC keep build plus the fact that elephants are a thing, and considering how big the 2v2 maps are, I feel like Delhi's advantages play into that later timing. It's kind of hard to play towards sacred sites as the Delhi in 2v2s. We saw the struggles, and if the generation isn't favorable, it makes it even worse. Here on Altai as well, you can see one of them is already going to be denied away. Is Elite. Oh no! He's trying to quick wall it up. He's tapping his hammer away. He needs to get behind the gate, and it looks like he'll just about get away. Holy smokes. That was a little bit too close. 4 health, he gets behind his walls. And that will deny one of these sacred sites. Second one is going to be heavily contested, I feel like. Third one might be accessible. Altai is kind of a funny map to play on 2v2s. This is what I was talking about the scalability and how big these maps get, to be honest. Like, look how ridiculously large Altai feels. It almost doesn't feel like Altai when you put an extra 2 players on it. It's so massive. It feels like it should have another mountain line between the teams. Right? Like, it's insane. This is just like, you end the map where these mountains are, and you essentially feel like you've got a longer, dry Arabia. And this is one of the issues I want them to fix. For a start, I feel like teams should be closer together. So they should start closer centralized so that they can defend each other easier, right? Or, alternatively, if you don't like that because you like the element of, like, targeting a player out, at least make it so that one of your teammates can rebuild your landmark. So if you get eliminated, they have a way of putting you back in the game. I feel like one of these 2 changes would go a long way in addressing some of the core issues in 2v2s. The core issue here, not the one on our screen. As I'm sure he won't be an issue this time around. He goes for the double pasture play, so it should be a quick castle unlock. And not too much pressure coming his way, because look what ZhugeLiang done. Serral running spears over this way for some reason. Just bodyguard duty. No, I can tell you what he's up to, guys. This. He wants to get the palisade walls down because that's something that you can do with the Delhi, remember. Your troops are able to build defenses. So that's why he runs one over the left side to block the sides, while ZhugeLiang chooses to go for an eco-boom situation. The double TC is the French. And on the other side, Elite 500 has gone for the elite efficiency of protecting himself. Everything is condensed. No space can go unused here, as the Imperial Academy and both TCs are located on top of each other. This play, by the way, has become quite outdated. A lot of players don't do this anymore with their town centers due to the fact that you essentially lose value in terms of efficiency after about 3 or 4 minutes. Let me explain why. When you build TCs like this, the reason people done it originally is to deal with high-tempo civs that aggress them early on. The whole idea being is I build this TC, you can't easily ram rush me and obliterate it. Ram rushing isn't as popular as it once was. And when it fell off, what people realized is that when you split up your TCs and put them in different areas, your economy remains efficient for longer. What do I mean by this? When you build all these villages out of a central location, they move out to these initial areas, and it's not too inefficient. You're doubling up the people in this wood line. You're doubling up the people in this stone. Hold on. Are you hearing the issue with doing that? You're doubling up the people on these initial resource lines, and thus you'll drain them quicker. And once they're drained, you have a centralized location from which all your villages run out, and you have a lot of idle time. Alternatively, had you chosen to build this TC, say, over here at the gold veins, or over here at the wood lines, it would take longer to drain the initial resources, and thus you keep levels of efficiency in the way your economy is stacked. And when you have to move out from these initial resources, you're moving out further, right? It's kind of that spread factor, because then you've got people moving out from this TC and people moving out from this TC. You now have like half the idle time because you've got these initial resources closer in these areas. Now, of course, that does come with some risks associated with the fact that your town centers are exposed, but usually this can be offset. As I said, ram rushing is not as popular as it once was, even more so in 2v2s and above. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if we get treated to it in this sort of format, considering Serral is bringing out an early aggressive army. By the way, to answer the question to do with tax, no, it's not because of tax. You can't taxate. There's no taxation to this. These buildings don't generate tax. And Elite, in the meantime, is going to start building up the horsemen. Now remember, once he sees his opponent, he can quickly react, because one of the beautiful things you have as Chinese is your supervise. Supervise allows you to turn one building into 3 with its generation rate. Now, every 7 seconds he's building horsemen, the counter to what's coming. Because as you can see, Serral's only building horsemen and archers right now, so this will leave him vulnerable when he tries to make this assault. Meanwhile, Core just vibing in the north, trying to be raided by the knights, but doesn't have to really care too much. In fact, this might just be a Magadai play. Magadai are formidable up against the French. There's not much you can do because the Magadai move at the same speed as the knights, even faster if they have Yam or the maneuver arrows. So feels like an awkward situation for ZhugeLiang. This matchup doesn't really favor him in the early mid-game. He's looking for a later timing, and he will be able to achieve that due to the secondary TC he built. Meantime, Serral being buffered away. Is he going for the siege engineering yet? No intent just yet. Remember, he's going to go for all these techs because they are free when you're playing as a deli. This is a really popular play, 2 or 3 blacksmiths to quickly unlock your new techs. Because remember, the limitation for the deli, you don't pay a price in resource, you pay a price in time. And that time is pretty high until you get multiple mosques down and fill them full of scholars. Second TC now coming out from Core. So everyone's just looking to boom right now. The only person who doesn't have a secondary TC is Serral. But if Serral chooses to go quickly into Castle Age, he can unlock the tech in his keeps to turn them into town centers. That's the play I'm expecting, but for the moment, he's ramping up aggression. Still needs to sort the siege engineering if he wants to hit a critical timing here, though. And it has to be said that Elite 500 is currently quite exposed. Core went for a very interesting gold vein here. Considering he knows where the other gold veins are, he played far to this back one. And although in theory it's better protected, the moment it gets revealed like it just did, it's very easily gankable. And although you have a single outpost here, if the outpost gets burnt down by 6 or 7 knights, there's nowhere for these villages to run. Archers, in the meantime, are going to find access to Elite 500's food line here. Uh-oh. And he doesn't want to peel away. He's going to be forced to. 21 villages have to run out. Horsemen are now responding. They do outmass Serrals, but tech ups are coming out. So, for the moment, Elite 500 just trying to buffer his opponent away here, and the archers are going to be exposed. The horsemen jump on top of him. A lot of time wasted by Serral here. 3 horsemen going after 1 makes it a good trade for Elite 500 as he pushes his opponent away. More reinforcements coming in, and it looks like Serral has now addressed the problem. Spearmen in the formation, but Magadai are now here. But the drive-by. Cool. Because he's teching up, he'll quickly be able to advance these into potent units. Magadai at this stage in the game, a little bit flimsy, only 7 damage with 85 health. You upgrade him, you can go up to 105 health, about 13 damage per shot, and that's when they get scary. And Magadai need to be careful because there are scholars on the front. Serral, are you being dirty? Serral, no! He's a filthy herbal mediciner! For those who are unfamiliar with what herbal medicine is, it is a tech that allows your religious figures to heal quicker. It is banned in competitive play because it is broken. But Serral, he's looking for the cheese factor of 10. And now things get a little bit frustrating because, well, these heal rates are absurd, folks. Like, the rate at which they can heal, it's very hard to kill any units. Let's say Serral gets an elephant on the front and he just full-on power heals it like he's playing a round of Overwatch and it's Mercy and Reinhardt. You're never, ever getting through that elephant unless you have a ridiculous quantity of troops, which we're talking like 40 spears maybe coming in, and that elephant might still survive if you don't target out the scholars. And when the scholars get ridiculous, there's no cooldown on what they heal. They can switch targets at a whim. So if you try to turn on the scholars, all of a sudden they do the healing circle jerk, where they just start patting each other on the head, and all you see is these pluses in a circle. It looks like they're trying to summon a greater healing demon, but instead they're just keeping each other alive eternally. The force is mounting now. French Knights, veteran status achieved. Serral, with a sizable army, could breach at any point. He could even pull villages forward to get elephants in the field. But right now, this mass has to find some value. It's kind of standing here, not finding a breach point is the bigger concern. And they are being countered the longer they wait. Palace Guard are being built en masse by Elite 500 as he has 4 racks on production. And also Nesta Bees. And it's Clock Tower Nesta Bees. You can see it's trying to camouflage itself as a stone line. This is some guerrilla tactics right here. The Palace Guard are going to start pushing out, and that's where you have to fully peel back. So breathing room is going to be achieved for Team 2. And Core right now is kind of in a chill, zen-like state. He hasn't really contributed much to the fight, but that's about to change. Magadai marched across. Has enough to also justify going into the veteran status as well as the Sire Bow limbs. And that's when they start to pack a punch. Scholars left behind. Serral doesn't believe in religion. He does believe in gathering these juicy relics. It's like any sucker that believes in religion is going to pay me taxation to see my relics. That's where the gold comes from. I knew it was coming from somewhere. 2 relics already. But where is he going? What? Nani? Serral? Does he want a Wall play? I am slightly perplexed right now. I don't think he's realized that he hasn't banked them. Yeah, he hasn't realized. Whoops. We'll finally try to address that now. There's a lot of idle time, though. He did go into the House of Learning, which means he's going to have the edge with the Home Blades, but this does eliminate the possibility of us seeing the keep town center strategy because it's less cost efficient. There we go. He'll fix it now. So double relic going in. 2 more to gather at the back. He's definitely getting his bang for buck. However, pressure's coming in, and this is the issue. The Magadai. Attack speed arrow used prematurely by Core. Maybe slipped and fell on his keyboard there. And the wraparound, the formation hurt him a little bit as the Horsemen do gap close. And he still hasn't upgraded them yet. He gets one of the missile upgrades, but he needs to get them to veteran stats. That's when they really start to dish out the damage here. And right now, they're just taking the damage. The Horsemen able to gap close upon them, getting that bonus damage, doubling up to 20 damage per strike. Now the Magadai in their zone, though, as Knights cannot gap close. In the meantime, as the fight gets peeled off, Elite 500 is looking like an Elite 0 now. Less elite, in fact, as he is outnumbered in the fight. Core baited him in and baits him out. He's like, don't worry, bro. I managed to distract 6 of his Knights. Yeah, but the main fight, Core, please come back. And by the time he arrives, it's going to be too late. And I just, Core, why? Why has he not done it? Veteran status, Sire Bolims, it would be huge here. But Core, I don't know. Maybe he's let his cat take over his keyboard for a minute or two while he goes and cooks some sort of bagel. Because he hasn't seemingly found efficient use out of this Magadai. I mean, it definitely looks like he's gone AFK when you see this many villagers queued up. Just ask his partner to take control of the mouse and keyboard for a minute or two and just make sure you keep clicking the Magadai away from the enemy. Ay, ay, ay. And oh my god, the size of this army. Core, what are you doing? How are you helping right now? Oh, I see. It's very team-like. He's dragging the opponent back to his base. Oh, no, he's not distracted anymore. He's going to go in. Elite 500 is in trouble. Oh my god, there is so much exposed economy. Everything is so condensed right now for Elite. He's going to lose a lot here. Spearmen, they run around the side. That's a freebie. Straight in on the Nest of Beasts. Target him out. Force the fire. Fire comes out. First salvo out into the Knights, but Knights way too tanky. They're going to wrap around. Nest of Beasts going to be target down. Burnt down very quickly here. Second contingent of Knights goes into the wood line. Elite 500 is in trouble, and Core is nowhere to be found. Don't worry, though. The Riders of Rohan, if they were riding donkeys that were 2 years from retirement, are in effect. And they will achieve nothing. Core simply showing up so he can net his participation ribbon and swiftly leaving through the other side with just his Khan. He has done nothing. This Imperial Age tech-up has left them fully exposed, and they realize that ZhugeLiang and Serral understand how strong they are right now. Because he just invested 3,600 resources at 18 minutes in the game into a tech-up when he should have been invested into Magadai. And that means no mag, only die here in Elite 500's base. TC expansion down, villagers butchered once more. Elite 500 is down to 28 eco. Everything is dead. He's on life support, but don't worry. Serral and ZhugeLiang, the Merciful, are here to pull the plug. And Elite right now, he's just adding a name to his blacklist. He sees Core thriving. He sees himself dying. He refuses to submit himself to this ever again. And more troops riding in. Elite 500. No way to recover from this. If Core was a Dark Souls NPC character, he'd be called Core the Curse. Because this right now, this looks cursed. Core looking to summon a greater demon of sheep. The sheep god might save him if he makes enough pasture donations. But apparently no one told him The sheep god isn't real. I made him up. I lied in that DM core. It doesn't exist. It's not a cheat code. If you build 1,000,000 pastures, it doesn't summon a sheep. Oh my. Elite 500 has been left alive. But for what? He has 9 villages. He's currently teching up with an Imperial Palace. Because next time, when he gets chased, that Yuan dynasty will let him run away. That's the important detail. It's been achieved. Elite 500 has his survival condition. Cool. Asking right now if he can substitute villagers for sheep. If so, he'll send them to Elite 500's economy lines. But I'm afraid we just lack the technology. Honestly, we haven't discovered a way to teach sheep how to hold axes yet. And we're worried if we do, they'll revolt. So it means these sheep are just dead weight right now. Core will at least remain guardian of the sheep for the moment with his Elite Magadai. Oh, finally, he realized technology is a thing. It just required him to realize Imperial was first. And that meant that instead of just this being lamb chops, his teammates lamb chops now. Lamb chops that they've been munching down upon for the last several minutes. And now it's fun elephant time. While Serral and ZhugeLiang are heading to the zoo, Core is off to the pet store because he's looking like a dog right now. A dog that they're about to put down. Mangonels! Glue Factory almost achieved. Dodges insta-death for the moment, but the step readout ain't so lucky. 2k HP already gone. And remember, no resistance. There will be no resistance to Serral and ZhugeLiang. Knights, realizing the Magadai do counter them, but if they move slowly with the Mangonels, Core counters himself. Core right now, all chatting, saying, stupid Chinese teammate didn't back me up. Where is Elite 500's army? Elite 500 is sending in the reserve force. This is made up of old men and retirees, as it's only 9 spears and a nest of bees. Or as I like to refer to it, 9 spears in a dream. They move fast, but will they be fast enough? Magadai being pushed back, losing the fight. Turns out that elephants are the natural predators of horses. ZhugeLiang now in Imperial Age. Everything in Core's base is about to burn. The wraparound, the spears, the MVPs. They can clean up the Mangonels. He says, I've done it. I give my life. Elite 500 transitions into Jedi Force Ghost mode and says it's all up to you now, Core-san. But Core, at the core of his formation, takes a heavy hit of Boulder. The army is all but gone. The StarCraft boys will not lose in 2v2s. The score now between StarCraft and Age of Empires 4 lies 2 to the StarCraft champs. Oh my god, you might have sent Obi-Wan for his Force Ghost, but I feel like Serral and ZhugeLiang sent in Darth Vader, and that destroyed them. I'm not even going to look at the stats for that. I think it's an insult to Elite 500. My condolences for getting Core as a teammate. Hopefully next time you'll get Sami. I'm sorry, I can't. I hate being mean to Core. Actually, I kind of enjoy it. I low-key enjoy it, especially when he plays like this.